Alright, so Ravenswatch is the new game from Pastech, the developers behind Curse of the Dead Gods. I remember when Curse of the Dead Gods came out, I was on my Hades binge, so I played it and then dropped it very soon after, but Ravenswatch takes a bit of a different approach while keeping the roguelike formula. You've seen the title and it's true, Ravenswatch does lack a lot of content, but that's because it's in early access. Right now, the price does not reflect the content, so if you're looking for hours of playtime, you probably won't get it. However, that doesn't mean that the foundations aren't solid. In fact, the foundations are solid, and with pillars like these, the devs can really go above and beyond and make Ravenswatch a truly deep and replayable game. After all, that's what you want out of an action RPG roguelike. Depth in the RPG areas and replayability in the roguelike department. So how does it play? You start the game inside a circle that acts as a teleporter, and you can teleport back and forth from this location, which you'll want to do because right in front of you is the Sandman, someone you'll buy upgrades off with currency you find on the map. Essentially, the goal is to roam the map, finding upgrades and currency, all while defeating enemies and leveling up to become strong enough to defeat the boss that comes after 4 in-game days. A run usually takes me 20 to 25 minutes, and the goals are pretty simple, so there's no pacing concern on my end with the fundamental loop. To talk about what I like, the game's mechanics feel really good, and the animations behind the abilities and effects are all super smooth. Like seriously, I don't know why this is something that I love in video games, but when animations are simultaneously crisp and quick but also smooth, it's a really good sign of quality to me, and this game has that. It's also an aspect that makes combat fluid and satisfying, which is another thing that this game does really well. There is a real sense of mechanical skill when using the tools at your disposal, and I like that a lot. It's obvious, but combat feel, weapon and ability feedback, these are all crucial things in any game, but especially a game like this where that's what you're doing a majority of the time. The variety in abilities and upgrades is pretty solid for now. You'll unlock more as you level up each character, and it's a nice motivator to play. I'd say there's also a good variety in effects like buffs and debuffs, but I'm not sure how purposeful creating a build is yet. Like, I generally don't go for a specific build type, and maybe that's because there isn't enough variety, or it's the way that the system is designed. I think mainly it's because the build you are going for is entirely dependent on what character you choose. I also like the challenge the game presents. It's not just going to hand you easy combat scenarios and have you spam abilities and move on. You'll need to think about what you're doing and what you're using, and remembering the enemy's attack patterns is crucial to minimizing damage. I'm not entirely sure what it was like in Curse of the Dead Gods, so I can't recall if this style of combat is reminiscent of that game, but if it is, then maybe you'll have an easy time grasping onto this game's difficulty. The struggles for Ravenswatch are all tied to the progression and non-existent next stages. There is meant to be a stage 2 and maybe a stage 3, but for now you can only beat the first stage, which like I said takes me about 20 to 25 minutes. The progression in a roguelike and an RPG are essential components of not only getting people to buy the game, but also keeping people playing, and those are the areas in which Ravenswatch is not developed enough. But again, it's in early access, so rather than criticize what's not here, I'll mention some of the things I'd like to see added. First of all, more of everything is always welcome. More stages, more abilities, more variety in all areas, and of course that's coming, so no need to worry. Second, what would this game be like with an item system? Armor, trinkets, weaponry? Maybe they would only add statistics, but that would still be more things to min-max during your runs. Third, more permanent meta progression. Different unlocks for your characters, hell, even cosmetics wouldn't be unwelcome. And the last one I can think of is more things to do on the maps. Add more activities to the maps to grind out upgrades and things. Quests already exist, so more variety there too. I genuinely think that with time, Ravenswatch will become a really great game. There's a chance it remains too bland and the content added fails to improve the game, but I don't think that's going to happen. I recommend it right now, but it's purely an early access investment if you do choose to buy it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Follow me on Twitch, on Twitter, subscribe, have a great day, and see you later.